What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC. I'm Ken, and today we've got some upgrade parts from Nexx Racing. These are so awesome. They are for the T word. They're for those guys. They're for the T word TRX4M. The M for XRT. That's what they're for. They're for this guy. We're gonna throw these on there, and these are what are soup. This is what's exciting. Do you see what I see? Oh. So yes, we have the T-word truck here, T-truck, and this is the Furitek Bettle Chassis. We've got a video on this guy right over here, swapping it over. We also have some 3Flow 9 upgrades on here. Ooh, we actually have a different skid we're going to throw on. I'll grab that while we're at it. And it's more of a low profile. So yeah, we'll grab that. And yeah, we've got the Furitek setup in there with the brushless. Definitely check out this video over here. And yeah, you'll see what we're about. So today, Nexx Racing is bringing the hotness. Look at these axles. Oh boy. Nexx Racing always has super high quality parts. They got their start in the Mini Z world, guys, the 128 scale. And if you know anything about their Spectre chassis on the 128 on-road, it is sick. Like, it is hands down amazing. Especially for the price point. It is such a good car, and we run one in super stock. You can run it in mod, you can run it in any class, and it drives better than I do, that's for dang sure. So you know that Nexx has high quality, high precision parts. We're going to dive into this stuff. We got some links as well, some C-hubs here. Oddly enough, we don't actually need the C-hubs. Oops. Guess we can do rear steer. Oh no, you can't add the C-hubs to the... Can you add the C-hubs? No, those are extended. Hold on, I'm confused. Yeah, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Can you do on the stock? Nope, they're completely different axles, front and rear. Most of the smaller scale stuff, you can pop the C-hubs off of the ends of the axles are the same whether the front or rear on like the FCX. So you just pull off the ends. I guess it's because it's portals. Anyway, and then we got some wheels here. Now, these wheels look great, but I'm not the biggest fan of them not being bead-locked. So we'll see how they hold up. We'll see how they do. They look fantastic. The quality of the machining and the coating, man, the coating looks great on all this stuff. So good, so good. And this is what the world has been waiting for, guys. We're gonna open these up. We'll probably do a separate video on these. Holy crap, they're smooth. And these are true reservoirs. This is the first shock of this size. I don't know of anybody else out there making this true reservoir shock, guys. You can adjust it, the tension, well, you adjust not the tension, but the compression that is inside the cylinder, I guess, by screwing this in, and it changes the stiffness. Oh, dude. Oh, okay, all right, let's get them on the car here. So I guess what we actually need to do first is build our axles. So we're going to be pulling all the old axle shafts and whatnot out of these axles. Oh yeah, we still have to do a drive shaft in here. We'll be adding the drive shaft. Got an Endura drive shaft right now, so we'll throw that in. But yeah, we need to do our axles, and then we'll do our links, and then we'll do our shocks. I guess we'll probably end up doing our servo mount on here too. And steering links. Well, sorry, on this one. All right. All right, so this thing should be super simple to pop off, but Traxxas does what Traxxas does. And so instead of just pulling out this screw, and the link screw, and being able to pop this guy off, well, you can, but getting the servo off, I guess, is more what I'm talking about. You can't get the servo off without pulling the servo out of the servo mount, which is so annoying. Like, you pull this screw out, you would kind of expect, I don't know, maybe I'm just complaining over nothing, but it just annoys me that you have to actually pull the servo out of the servo mount to pull the servo mount off the axle. I can't just 3 screws remove the axle completely. Plus a steering link, I guess, but yeah, still just annoying. And yes, we're part of the white servo horn gang here. And now we can pop the servo tray, servo mount out. Kind of. We'll go ahead and pull the whole thing apart. It's all coming apart anyway. Got a new steering link, new knuckles. Just trying to save a little bit of work for just these axles, but since it's all coming out anyway, whatever. One of the things that's really nice about these Nexx axles and the other Nexx parts, like even the knuckles, they all come with bearings. Bearings, bearings, bearings. Pretty sweet. I appreciate that. All right. So we'll set this guy aside for a second. We'll go ahead and get all this apart and rebuild our front axle, I guess. We'll start there. Now these guys are M1.4s because that's what this front skid uses. And we're going to be changing the skid to the low profile 3Flow9 skid. Just because we're going to end up probably putting this on our Defender. It's really meant for the full bodied trucks. Getting rid of all these bushings is going to be super nice. And you're not spending $40 for the Traxxas bearings. Ugh, that's the worst. I'd highly recommend just getting like Fast Steady bearings or something like that. They're like $26 if you're going to do the bearing sets. Or, again, if you're doing the next stuff, they come with the bearings, so pretty sweet. Wrong driver. We're going to also need our knuckles over here. And we should go get it now. We need our Loctite. We're going to finish getting this guy apart, and we'll be back. Knuckles and axle shafts are out. Ring and pinions out. We're good to go. We got our new knuckles. I can't say enough about how good this color looks. The machining and the color. It looks like it's like a satin, sort of. I don't know. Looks awesome though. Remember, when you're putting in bearings, go in straight as possible. If you have to, you can use the thing that the bearing goes into the bearing and use that to kind of push it in like that, see? And that helps it go in straight. Same thing on the side, just make sure your axle shaft's in there and you'll go straight in. Oh man, so much better than bushings. Talk about a bad decision. Yes, I mean, again, they did bushings because they claim it's to help it be waterproof and lower maintenance, but come on. Nobody wants bushings in their hobby grade RC cars. All right, pretty slick. And now we go ahead and do this. We got to pull all this out. Bearings are already in the C-hub, so that's nice. Let's see if these screws have a Loctite. I highly doubt it. No, but we will be adding some. The front cover comes off. And then our 4 bearings. The 2 larger ones go here. The 2 smaller ones go here. One on the outside. One on the inside. Like so. Drop the ring in. And we're not going to grease these because they weren't greased from the factory. I think that you'll end up getting dirt and mud in there. Maybe at some point we'll open them up and throw some grease in there. I don't know how hard we're going to be running this guy. But we've been running it for a while dry, and it seems fine. So, I don't know. They're plastic. If they were metal, we would definitely put some grease in there if they were all metal. But they're not. So, I'm not overly worried about that. There's our diff cover back on. And we're going to go ahead and Loctite each one of these little guys just a little bit. Whenever you're going metal to metal, Loctite. Metal to plastic, do not Loctite. You'll have a bad day. Loctite degrades metal, or plastic, excuse me. Seen people get Loctite on like their servo mounts on the plastic Emax servos when they're putting their screw through. And it just ends up degrading the Emax ears, the mount part, and then they end up breaking, falling apart. Seen people get Loctite on like parts of chassis. And it's just like a little bit, not even trying to Loctite it to the plastic, just getting Loctite on the screw. And then when they stick the screw through the plastic to get to the other metal, that Loctite gets on the plastic. And then again, over time, it just kind of makes it brittle and breaks it down. So not good. So you got to be careful with that unless you have plastic safe Loctite. The other nice thing, and I say it all the time, is if you Loctite screws, that means you don't have to over tighten the screws, right? So you don't have to worry about over tightening. You can just kind of snug it and be good, and you don't have to worry about them backing out and feeling like you have to, I got to tighten it down so they don't back out. Well, you don't have to tighten it down if you Loctite it. Right, that seems okay. And remember, on your knuckles, the thicker part of the steering link mount goes to the top. Okay. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of Loctite on this, because again, you don't want the Loctite to be kind of binding in that C-hub. And I'm actually kind of surprised. It just rides on there. Most C-hubs, well, maybe not most, but a lot of like the other brands, they have little bushings in there. The FCX has little bushings in there. So that's pretty cool. Not this guy. Simple as that. So I'll be honest, when I was complaining about those little tabs and not being able to pull the servo out, I did not know that that's how Nexx did it. They ended up using little screws. Don't forget, on your servo mount, the longer portion goes forward, but check this out. This is awesome. So I love that they did this, obviously, because I was just complaining about it. Those complaints probably seem planned now, but they definitely were not. Boom. Just like that. Tiny little screws. That way you actually don't have to pull your servo out to get it off the mount. Servo next. Oh, you know what? Grr. The servo is super tight on the plastic, and it's going to be even more tight on the aluminum. Do we adjust the servo? Do we trim the servo tray, or do we trim the servo? Now, mind you, if you're using a stock servo, it should be totally fine. And here, we'll just check real quick with like an NSDRC, which maybe we'll end up throwing in here, because we've got a red one. So that could look pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Damn. Even the NSDRC, they just need to make it just trimmed just a little bit back. Damn, guys. You almost had something. All right, well, we're going to trim the servo housing, or the servo mount, because I don't want to have to trim every servo that I decide to put in here. That's freaking annoying. It just needs to be just like a tad. This is why I hate when companies make stuff strictly to OEM spec. Like, they need to consider aftermarket. And this clearly, oh yeah, see, I'm not trying to scratch the shit out of that. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to Dremel this down a little bit. We'll be back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so you can see here how much we had to take off. A little from each side. Okay, and now our aftermarket servo will fit just fine. So that's good. Both the NSDRC and what we had in before. And your stock servo will still fit. Kind of want to run the NSDRC, right? Because it's got the red. Do we do that? I think we do that. This means we have to drill out our servo horn, because the servo horn is meant for a M1.4, not an M2 or 2.5, whatever this is. I think this is a 2. These are 2.5s, right? No, they're all 2.5. Ew. Guess we'll get at it. All right. Now our servo horn will work. And our servo fits. Let's just go ahead and throw these guys back in here. Is this not lining up now? It's very close. Yeah, that's tight. Oh man, that's not going to work. Son of a... Looks like we need to drill out our servo holes for, yeah, you can see it's like rubbing real hard on the inside here, so we just gotta like make space here and here. That's pretty annoying. We'll just use some electrical tape. And then we're just gonna kind of trim it down. That side's better. Part of it's because the drill drifted on this side, so oh well. There we go. Nice and smooth. Part of that is Traxxas doing a non-standard servo size. It's like literally like 0.5 millimeter smaller than all the other aftermarket servos. So that's Traxxas for you. Now, Nexx could have easily had made those insides where the mounts are flat, so we'd have to dremel those down, and all we'd have to do is trim our ears back, which is not a big deal. That would have been nice. That way it still would fit these without much work other than kind of making your hole a little bigger. That would have been good. Of course, we're not going to be able to put our servo horn on with this screwed in. Is that what's going to happen here? I guess you could just do that. We'll do that. Oh, you know what? We're not centered. You always want to make sure you get centered on your servo before you put your servo horn on. So we're going to have to unhook this guy here. Get it done. I forgot we made this easy to access. Whoops. All right, let's get a receiver or a transmitter. We're using our Furitek avatar on this guy. Let's go ahead and plug it in. Okay, and we're all trimmed out at 0, so we know we're good there. And we'll go ahead and just unplug it. Shut her down. Beautiful. Ugh. Stop using Phillips heads, guys. So annoying. Somebody be a leader and stop using Phillips heads, please. All right. I guess we don't really put this on yet. I guess we can do our string link. Let's do that. Door steering link next. It's this guy right here. It's already got all the little ball joints in there, so that's nice. Nice. Wait, this is also dumb. I don't know why Trexis did this. Like, what a dumb idea. Let's put the screws that are most likely to fall out facing down so they fall out. Like, who does that? Who does that? Come on, Trexis. Good thing we Loctite. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put our spacers in here. We're using nuts as spacers. Because the stock servo horn has a huge drop off, and all these aftermarket servo horns do not. Loctite this guy a little bit too. Beautiful. Okay. I guess we should get our 3Flow 9 on. We should have done that before we put all this together and Loctited it. Oops. Totally spaced out. Alright, here's the 3Flow 9 RC low profile skid. We're going to go ahead and do this guy up. And we'll just throw this guy on another rig. Probably the Defender, like I said. Alright, we gotta pull all these guys back out. Well, that's annoying. So it looks like the 3Flow 9 skid won't just slide on. I think the axle housing is shaped slightly different than stock. Just barely. It's like a little larger than stock from what it looks like. And so this outer portion of the skid doesn't want to slide over nicely. So we're gonna have to like trim it down or something. I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks like we have to just trim the inside here. So we'll try that, see if it helps. Get us a little bit of extra space in there. Shouldn't be too bad. I almost wonder if the mounts are longer. No, they look like they're just about the same. I thought these were maybe longer and Nexx had shortened them up or something. Oh, the shape overall is different. Oh, so annoying. Looks like Nexx is pretty narrowed in here. We got like a 45 cut here. So I'm gonna have to do that as well. Trim it down. I just don't want to weaken the skid too much. Alright, let's see if that fits a little better now. Still doesn't want to go. What is happening here? Is that not it? Oh, Oh, we're hitting right here. Okay. See right here. The next axle's flat right here. I bet the stock one's rounded, so that this can wrap around the axle. Damn. It's gonna hit right there too. Okay. So we have to kind of 90-degree this out. All right, we'll be back.
More moments later.
Bam. Got it. Just had to do a little trimming. Basically squared this off a little bit more. It's kind of hard to tell, but... And then on this side, squared it off a little bit more. And she fits. Sweet. All right, we're going to get our screws in. All right, now we're going to do our links. So we'll just go ahead and start with our front links. They're going to go here. Just printing on both sides, which is nice, nice, nice. And our lower links will go like this. I guess we can do our shocks too, right? Boom, shock, link, screw. Here, let's do this actually. Put our shock through. Let's see, we want this on the outside. See how it's got the larger ear versus this side? You want that on the outside, that way it never pulls through. Shouldn't matter on these shocks actually, but unlike the links, if you have a non-captured spot, you definitely want to put the larger side of the ball joint towards the non-captured side, kind of like the shock is non-captured on this side. Because if you ever do it the other way and the O-ring goes out, your link will come all the way off. Or if this had an O-ring on there, the shock could come all the way off. So you just, good practice, put that side on the outside. So if we get our shock in there, the screw will go in easier, I'm sure. There we go. Got a little bit of binding there. Look at that. Just a little bit. Oh, I guess when you're upright, you're good. But you can see it right there. So just something to be aware of. Once we get this on, we get our shock mounted where we want it to be. If we find it binding, we'll trim this down or figure out what we need to do to make that not happen. Okay. There's another example. You want to make sure that ball joint, the larger side disc, is to the outside. So we're going to be mounting these like this. The reservoir's towards the middle. And so, yeah, that's correct. All right, we're going to get the other side. We'll be back. Little tip here. If you're having trouble getting the screw to line up coming through here, you can't get it to go into there, it seems like it doesn't want to move, it could be that your servo or your steering link is putting pressure and causing the whole servo mount to kind of turn, right? Because it's on a pivot here. So just pull these two screws out and then get it to line up, and then you can kind of hold it and get just the smaller screws in. They're easier because they're smaller, right? And you can do one side at a time, and you can kind of push it forward or back or whatever direction you need to go to get it to fit in there a little better. I think we're good to pull all this out now. So we'll start pulling out our stock links and our stock shocks. And there we go. Got our shocks off and our links off. We can throw our shocks and links, well, our whole axle assembly really. Throw it on now. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with our upper links. They're a little easier to access when we don't have the lower links in. And now we're doing our little links. Got plenty of freedom of movement there. That's awesome. What about your range of travel, though? Let's see here, because you're hitting here. That's pretty far down. That's going to be more than what we're probably going to be mounted at, so totally fine. And then it's your max compression because you're hitting here. So, worst case scenario, if you wanted to get even more compression, you'd have to take this down just a little bit, dremel that down just a tad, or the top portion of that link. I think you're good. I mean, that's plenty of movement there. Yeah, should be good there. All right, let's get our shocks in. Now, we'll take a break, and I just want to compare stock shocks to the new shocks. They are longer. Look how much longer they are. Quite a bit. But look at the compression. Boom. It's the same. How insane is that, guys? That's the max length on a stock. Fully extended. Fully extended. And then when you compress, what? How is that even possible? That's insane, guys. Wild. Here, I'll measure it for you. And I can tell you what they say about them already. They're 54 millimeters extended, 39 millimeters collapsed. So let's take a look here. There it is, 54 extended. It's actually a little bit more. Just a tad. Go from the middle of the eye to the middle of the eye, it's 55. Okay, and then collapsed. So 55 extended there. These guys are only 50. Yeah, 50. And then collapsed. Bam. Middle to middle. Saying 41. So not quite 39, but dang close. 40. They may have been measuring from the inside here. Like not the center of the eye, but the inside, because when it was fully extended. Let's see. That would have been much closer to the 54. Yeah. Yeah. 53 and a half. Down to 38. Let's see what this is compressed. We'll do it the same way to the inside of the eye. Stocks are 30. Whoa. There we go. The eyes are moving. That little eyelets. There you go. 37.8. So pretty dang close, like within a half a millimeter when they're compressed, which is pretty nuts. They have that much treble. That's a lot of treble. I dig that. So let's see, where we mount them then if they're going to have that much travel. Because we're not going to put them where they were. That's for sure. I guess like right here, huh? We're going to need some spacers because our reservoir is going to be hitting no matter where we mount it. So we need to do a little bit of spacer here. Let's move our reservoir to the front. Maybe we should do that. Just don't like the way that looks. Reservoirs to the front? I don't know. For some reason I feel like reservoirs go to the back. Maybe we should go to the front. Shrug. You know, it's interesting. This radius just gives you more flex, not more. You can't lower it or raise it. Like it's the same no matter what, right? The only way you can raise it or lower it is with one or two. Bottom or top. Other than that, it's just a matter of how much flex you get. Or travel side to side, right? guess, technically. I think that's where we're going to do it. It gives us basically maximum amount of compression. We're losing just a little bit of compression there, but then when you go side to side, you get it back. And that's because of the links hitting here. And we are equally compressed. But when you twist, you get a little bit more. So it does still get full compression on the side to side. And then hopefully we can run it at kind of like a half droop almost, right? So it'll sit hopefully like right around here. That's the plan anyway. Let's get our drive shaft off. Now we just need to do the rear. Let's get the rear done. We're gonna have to do this rear drive shaft as well. That's the one that actually broke. Crappy thing is, I think you have to pull this whole battery tray out to even be able to remotely reach the screw, because the screw is behind this. It's like, it's in there. And you can't really reach it with the battery tray in, so that sucks. So I guess we'll just try to unscrew the battery tray. Oh man, what's the best way to do this? I'm not a fan of that. Like, I really wish that there was a way to access that a little better, like, or at least have the hole in the battery tray to where you can see. I almost even wonder if we get the battery tray out, if we'll be able to do it. We might have to pull the whole skid out. Either way, let me figure it out. I'll be back.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be able to get to it. Actually, we may be able to get to it just by lifting the battery tray up. It's kind of hard to see down in there, but maybe I can get my screw. No, we need to get the battery tray out. And that sucks because there's little tabs on the back. Maybe once we get the battery tray out, we'll put a hole in it like right here so that we can maybe try to somehow reach, maybe even put a small hole through the carbon fiber. That way we can just get a driver down in there in case we ever have to change a drive shaft again, because man, this is a pain. You don't want to have to take the whole damn truck apart just to get a drive shaft out. And again, no matter how you do it, you have to pull the battery tray out. Or, yeah, you have to pull the battery tray out no matter what. Because even if you were to pull the skid out, you can't pull the skid out with the battery tray in. Grr. Man, and I can't get... I'm going to have to just cut these tabs off the tray. Just something I didn't really want to do, but I might. Alright, we just snipped this guy out. That's letting us get our battery tray out. We had to snip off this ear. Which isn't a huge deal, actually, because when you see the tray in there... Either way, when the tray's in there, the links actually hit on the tray. Quite a bit. A lot more than I thought. See that? So, trimming this out, and maybe cleaning this up a little, like cutting this out a little on each side, will help prevent the links from hitting the tray so much. And then we'll put a hole here. Alright, we got a trimmed out spot here. So we get our screwdriver down into the drive shaft, and we cleared this out. And now it doesn't hit on the links. And we can reach our drive shaft without removing it next time. See there? Nice. Probably can't see very well there, but you can see where the upper links are. Much better. And now we can just stick a screwdriver down in between here to get into our drive shaft. Just like so. Wow, super easy. Way better. So it's really odd to me that Traxxas forced you to put one end, as a D, and one end is more of a two-sided flat or a square, rectangle, whatever. Because generally you put your female end, at least in my experience, you put the female end at the top and the male end at the bottom. That way dirt and grime doesn't fall into the female end because it's facing upward, right? Like if you're like this, it's always facing up, right? So dirt and grime can get down in there. Whereas if you put it this way, dirt and grime will fall out. Like it'll never go into the drive shaft because it's always kind of facing down. So that's odd to me that they force you to put your drive shaft in female side down. I don't understand what that logic is. I've never seen that before. Like, why not just have both sides the same and you can put it whichever way you want? Is it Traxxas trying to be proprietary on their stuff? I don't know. Don't forget to phase your drive shafts. Oh, we're not even doing this yet. We still got to do the whole axle. We'll get there. You know, I never even realized this before, but even on the stock axles, the links rub. The links too. The links and the suspension, or the shock, both rub on the axle. You see right here and here? Like, what the hell, Traxxas? Like, just give us a 0.5 millimeter longer on the truss. Like, what are you doing? That's really bad. Like, why? They even had to indent the axle a little. Just move it out just a tiny bit. I mean, a 0.5 millimeter is not going to decrease your durability that much. And if it is, then just make the truss just a little thicker. But to be rubbing, which means you're binding on the stock, come on. You can do better than that. I should be able to just fall down. Same with this. I should be able to just lift it up, let go, and fall down. Horrible. Anyway, do we need that? Oh, we need the bolt. It's like we don't need any of this except the internals in this 3-flow 9 upper truss. But we need the bolts. We got all of our links out. We got our diff cover off. We got our upper truss off. Now we're just going to pull out our axle shafts. You have to pull the bushings out here. It's pretty simple though. Just pull the 2 screws and there you go. There's your axle shaft. Pull your bushing out. We're just going to throw our bushing back in, our screws back in, because our new axle comes with bearings and screws already. We'll do the other side. Once you pull the other side out, the ring and pinion will just drop right out. Ta-da! Simple as that. All right, pulled our diff cover off. Loosened our screws to get our bearings out. You don't have to pull them out all the way if you don't want to. You just got to make sure you can get your bearing to kind of drop in there. Well, once it's on the axle, I guess it needs to be a little bit more. There you go. All right. We have to actually get our ring and pinion in first, though. We're larger bearings on the ring side, smaller bearings on the pinion, smaller diameter, inner diameter. One on the outside. The other on the inside. I just want to say that the fit and finish of this Nexx stuff is so good. Like the milling, and I already said it once, but the color, the coating is just fantastic. We want to do a little Loctite on these. You probably could have Loctited these ones too, but your hex is up against it and your wheel. It's like when your hex is sitting on there. It's pretty unlikely that they'll back out, but if they do back out, you'll notice. We probably should have just put the tiniest bit of Loctite on each one. Tight fit for sure. It looks like it'll go. Let's see, where are we rubbing? Oh, these are rounded in there. See that right there? It's rounded. So we may have to round this just a little bit. We'll just take like the tiniest bit off. We'll use just an X-Acto. Need a different blade. This blade's not ideal. Just needs to be rounded out just a little. There we go. That gets us much more flush. Yeah, that's much better. And you can just see here how this rounded portion is kind of preventing it from going nice and flush, but it's better than it was for sure. I mean, our hole is good, so we should be able to drop our screw straight through, and we should be golden here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And then our upper links. And then our lower links and shocks. Remember again, large ball joint flange out. Go. So it looks like Nexx attempted to improve here. They cut back a little further, which is good. So your links don't bind at all, right? Like that's good, but our shocks are still doing it. So it would have been nice if they would have cut back just a little more on the shock as well. Just so it didn't bind. You know, in the racing world for like the 128s that we do, binding, man, if you bind like this, your car will not drive. Like it'll drive, but you're going to be hitting walls nonstop. So this kind of stuff drives me nuts. But again, that's how the stock is, so I get it. But they did improve here, so I'm surprised they didn't kind of cut back and improve there as well. Got our upper links in. Now we're going to go ahead and just put our drive shaft in, do our lower links and our shocks. Remember to phase your drive shaft. What that means is basically having the ears line up. So see how these are on the sides? This is on the side. This is on the top. This is on the top. You want it like that, not like this, right? Now they're not in phase. If you take your ear here, go to line it up, it's not lined up, right? So you want them to be the same. That helps with just vibration in the driveline at high speeds. Pretty simple. Okay. Oh no, this one's not lined up. What happened? We need to fix that. We'll fix it. Now our lower links. Ta-da! What are we hitting on? Battery bucks? Yeah, it's okay. And now our shocks. Let's figure out our shocks. Bam! There we go. Feels good. Nice and smooth. Plenty of travel. Some decent articulation. I kind of wish the Furitek chassis had one more row above. I just want to go a little lower. I wish I could just set it just a little lower without compressing the shocks, because we could go up and we could compress more. Not compress more, but we could be lower, right? The chassis could be just a little bit lower than what it is right now. Maybe not in the front actually, because we're hitting our links. But either way, we're digging it. It's pretty dope. Again, the color and the finish is so slick. All right, let's get our these wheels on here. We're just going to be using the stock stuff. That's kind of what these are meant for, is the stock tires. It's really unfortunate these aren't B-locks, but we'll try them. So just like the rest of the stuff, the finish on these is super nice. They are vented, just like the stocks. And again, they're just kind of pressure held on. Worst case, I guess, if you really were worried about it, you could glue them, but they seem to be holding pretty well for not being bead locks. Like, they don't, you have to really try to get them to turn on the wheel. Like, they're staying pretty well. So that's good. Like you can see, I'm trying to turn that. So that's good. That's good. Again, they're probably better than the stocks. They probably have a little bit better grip, maybe a little tighter tolerances, and help keep it nice and tight on the wheel. So that's a good thing for sure. All right, we're gonna get them on. So remember not to over tighten. If you over tighten, it won't turn, right? Your wheels won't turn at all, and you'll fry your motor. So for the new guys out there, make sure you back it off. You should be able to very easily have a little bit of wobble in your tire or wheel. See that? I can barely touch it and it moves. That's what you're looking for. Okay, there shouldn't be a lot of like side to side. We got a little too much here. Tighten it back down just a little bit. There, our side to side's gone. Well, still a little too tight. That's one like eighth turn. There we go. Now we don't have any side to side wobble going like this, right? You don't want to wobble like this. You can feel just the tiniest bit, but plenty of, just barely touch it. Anyway, all right, we are done. I love the logos and the machine work on the links. Super slick. Need to plug it in, power it up. Let's get our battery back in. We're going to power it up. Oh, yeah. I like it. Our anti-squat on here. Oh, man, that feels good. These shocks. There's something else. Kind of wish we'd sit a little lower. Just a little bit. I think we need some softer springs. But yeah, it's almost just right. Like you don't want it too low. Yeah, I think we're good. The slow crawl from the Furitek. Insane. Look how slow you can go, guys. So much awesome aluminum on this guy. We're loving it. It looks cool. We got tons of looks at the shop where we were crawling, the Team Hat Garage clubhouse, and these shocks. Amazing. We're going to put a video that's breaking these down all the way, take them apart, we refill them, and we'll put that video right over here. They're just so good. So good. Yeah. Anyway, you've seen it. Make sure you ask any questions down below or make any comments. If you've got anything you want to say about this this little Bettle with some awesome Nexx upgrades. And again, these upgrades, they'll work on your stock TRX4M. They don't need to be on the Bettle, but they sure do look good on it. So yeah, just be sure to check out all the links below. We'll have links to all the stuff, or at least the Nexx website, and you can check it out. And these shocks, you got to pick them up when they come out. And the 3Flow9 stuff, right? Check out 3Flow9. Definitely taking the crawling to the next level. And the NSDRC red edition, pretty slick. All right, guys, we've got tons of awesome swag down below. Be sure to please check that out if you want to support the channel. Picking up a shirt is awesome to show off, and take a picture of yourself in that shirt running your mini RCs and hang on to it, because we may end up doing a giveaway probably for a ready to run of some kind, and we'll throw it out to one of the winners, and yeah, it'll be awesome. So just prepare by getting a shirt. It's a way of selling shirts, even though we don't make money. I'm really just trying to promote the channel. We get like $1 on any of the sales from that stuff. I tried to price everything as low as possible, just so that you guys can pick it up. We've got a bunch of different slogans and stuff down there, or you can just pick up the regular old Shop Mini RC logo. It looks great on shirts and hoodies and backpacks and everything else. Anyway, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, and yeah, get out there and build something awesome. Smash it, crash it, and bash it, but do not break the expensive parts. We have a shirt that says that. Peace.